CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. Welcome to Friends of Nano Presented by CMMS Radio from Fort Worth, Texas. I want to give a shout out to Nano Precise, and you're now in the nanosphere. Thank you, by the way, to Reliability X for bringing the recording rig. Andy Gager, AMG International, welcome back to CMMS Radio.
Thank you, Greg. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you.
I want to know what the buzz is this year at SMRP. And what I mean by that is, like, are there any common themes, or is it more the typical challenges and problem solving that you always hear about?
There are two recurring themes that each, and that, by the way, every single one of them have mentioned. The first one is AI. That's the buzzword that's flying around. And the other one, believe it or not, is materials management, MRO, which coincidentally is actually one of the sessions I'll be speaking at later today.
Yeah. I want to get into that because a lot of people seem to find that it's complicated, or maybe a better way to put it, it's overwhelming to fix it when you got a situation. Can you talk just a little bit about why that just never seems to be an area that's getting fixed within plants and organizations?
Well, so let me combine those two things I just mentioned, because two of the sessions we're talking about using AI to establish their storerooms and their spare parts. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I mean, there is no, I can't, put my finger on exactly what the reasons why so many organizations, struggle with materials management, and then compound that issue with 5 years ago with this virus that was worldwide, that's impacted everybody's supply chain. But well, first of all, if I put my leadership hat on, the way I look at inventory is you're tying up cash. So the more inventory we have, the more you're impacting my cash flow, because inventory is very, very expensive. Then if I look at my maintenance department, my maintenance managers, they want one of everything in the storeroom. That's not reasonable and that's not feasible. So how do they balance that too? We got somebody that doesn't really want inventory, and we got somebody that wants, warehouses full of spare parts. So how do you balance that, right? How do we get that to that happy medium? And that seems to be a real big struggle.
I think there's this weird thing about the technology where we know it's good, we know it's useful, we know it's helpful, but the technology is used as an easy button to solve some of these problems that really boil down to people and process. And we say it all the time. It's not the technology, but it could be the technology that really takes you, to that next level. What is it really? Is it a lack of awareness? Is it that people just they really don't want to do the work, or are there too many changes inside of the organizations, lack of trust? I'm just wondering.
Well, I'll put everything you just said, I'll put that in the bucket. All right, how's that? I'll just throw everything you just mentioned, I'll throw that in the bucket. I heard somebody once say, look, technology is great until you need it. And that is absolutely true. Matter of fact, I just wrote an article on this. I was on a very important Zoom call, and we lost the internet service. Not once. I rescheduled it for the next day. We lost the internet service again the second day. We lost it on Saturday. I tried getting a couple people together on Monday, and we had an outage again. So, technology is great up until the point I actually really, really need it. Okay? So, when we're trying to apply, and there's some really good companies, particularly here at the SMRP conference, that do sell software that can help organizations, right?
Yeah.
The issue is, how do we use the tool? There is no, let me put it this way, there is no CMMS system that I've ever seen that makes your organization reliable. I've never seen it. I've never seen SAP do it. I've never seen Maximo. I've never seen Oracle. All right. I've never seen any of these CMMS systems make an organization reliable. But what I will say is those are tools that help organizations become reliable. And it's how do we use those tools? And part of the functionality of those CMMS systems is, of course, materials management. There's only 2 reasons why your inventory is off, Greg. There's only 2 reasons. Okay?
What are they?
The first one is either your process failed, or 99.99% of the time, someone failed to follow the process. So to your point, is there a discipline? Yeah, it is. So, one of the things, if you want to push one of my buttons, and this has always been, as you poetically pointed out, the decades that I've spent in MRO, one of the things I can continually hear from the technicians is, it was an emergency, I had to get in there, get a part to get back out there and repair that equipment or whatever. So I didn't have time to document taking that part out. And then, what then happens is they forget to document it. And I guess to a certain point, I sort of get that. Not really, but I understand what they're saying. I don't agree with it. But here's my retort to that. Here's my response to those individuals that say we didn't have time to do that. So help me understand why you couldn't take 30 seconds out of your life to write down part number, the quantity, your name, and the work order number, okay? Help me understand why you couldn't take 30 seconds to do that. Because the system's not smart enough to know that you took that part out of the storeroom. The perpetual inventory still reflects that item is still in the drawer, in the bin, in the shelf, whatever that location is, right? So the next time that item is required, they're going to go to that location and it's not there. Inevitably, they're going to blame the storeroom person, right? You're not going to see a maintenance person, point the finger at themselves. And so if you think about it, by you not taking 30 seconds to document, taking the 30 seconds to document that you took that part out, let's walk through this. The storeroom person has to walk around to see if they can locate that part. Typically, they'll go, sort of like the Noah's Ark philosophy of looking for parts. So 2 by 2, they'll go looking for that part, okay? So they're taking up the maintenance technician's time to try to find that part. They determine they can't find it, so now they got to reach out, contact the supplier. Do you have that item in stock? Yes. Okay, let me cut your purchase order. We cut the purchase order. We wait for that part to get shipped in. Highly likely that it's going to have to be shipped in overnight, so there's premium dollars involved in that. Then the part comes in, we receive it, we do the transactions, we issue that part out, whatever the case may be. Now help me understand why you couldn't take 30 seconds of your life, because now you're getting 4, 5, 6 people involved, and now it's going to cost a heck of a lot more money than if you just took the 30 seconds of your life.
By being accountable, being here for it, taking those 30 seconds or 60 seconds to properly document things in the CMMS or write something down for somebody and hand it off to the MRO storeroom person, that we like that because it helps all of us get to where we're going. And that's a day-to-day thing. I mean, maintenance is a team sport. Maintenance and reliability is an even bigger team sport, because reliability on its own is everybody's responsibility. And MRO plays a big role in it. I mean, I want to switch gears, because this is a lot for people to take in. And when it comes to SMRP, the Society of Maintenance and Reliability Professionals, it's an important organization, not just nationally, it's global now. And this conference, the annual conference, what are some of your favorite things about SMRP as a society? And then the conference itself, the annual conference. I'm trying to figure out, why should people come to this event? Because I think I know, but I think you would know better.
Well, I've been coming to this conference for I've been coming to this conference for 20 years, almost, if not very close to 20 years. It is my favorite conference that I attend, and I attend multiple conferences throughout the year. Matter of fact, I'll be at another one next week in Orlando. This conference tends to be more focused on solutions, some real issues that people are facing. People are, at this conference, I find the speakers, and I'll talk about this in just a second, the exhibitors as well. They are more than happy to share their experiences or their solutions or potential solutions to some of these issues. People tend to come to these conferences because they have an issue, right? They have a burr under that proverbial saddle, and or that proverbial itch that they're trying to itch or trying to get rid of that burr. And I think that this conference does a really, really good job of addressing that. We have a wide range of different sessions that people can pick and choose. So I think that's one of the great things about this conference. By the way, I'm looking around this conference. I think this might be one of the biggest conferences in a long, long time. I'm really impressed with some of the exhibitors, some of their services here. The other thing, on a personal note, look, this is one big reunion for me. I know a lot of people here, including yourself, so I get to hang out and meet with old friends of mine, and more importantly, meet some new industry friends.
Yeah, that, for me is I get to see you and some of our other friends in common. I also get to see some of the people I work with that I might not have ever met in person. I get to shake their hand. Some of the people I work with, and they're in on this production. Like, first of all, like Nano Precise, and the fact that this is Friends of Nano. That's Kevin Clark and his team over at Nano Precise have stepped up big time. They got this nice backdrop that for me, it's just wild to see that, man. I got to finally meet Nick Haas with Maintain X in person. He came up and just kind of stood near me, waiting for me to notice if he was there, and that was really cool. And earlier in the week here at the conference, they put on an unbelievable private rodeo event. They rented out Cowtown Coliseum, and dude, it was in there. So there's things like that can happen.
I heard about
at this
that.
conference, and this is my first SMRP, which everybody every year is like, when are you coming to SMRP? When are you coming to SMRP? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be there. I don't know if I'm going to go. And then last year it got canceled. That might be why it's big, but we're also in Texas, and they do things bigger in Texas. So, I got to meet my friends at Ultimo. I've had some other interviews with those people. I met a heavy hitter that's with Michaels. Does their 7 distribution centers. That was Michael Truitt.
He was one of my sessions. He was in one of the rooms that I was moderating. It was great. He did a great session. Yeah,
and this is, he's a former military man, and that's important too to me. So we get to see Brian Bieski, we get to see Matt Knuth, we get to see all of our guys and gals over there at Reliability X. George, Joe, Paul, Dan's there, and AJ. We always got to give a shout out to AJ. Just top to bottom. I also want to give a quick shout out to Ashney for helping put everything together. But I want to ask you now a slightly different question. Why should folks come to SMRP 2026 that is going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina?
Yes,
and
it is.
I want to know, why should they come to that event besides the option to be able to connect with you, my friend?
Well, I'm excited that it's coming to Raleigh because I live in Raleigh, so that's an added bonus for me. I don't actually get to sit on an airplane. I actually get to drive to one of these things, so that's always a nice one, or a nice benefit, I guess. Why do you want to come? Again, let me just repeat what I said. The people that attend SMRP tend to have a need. There's other conferences, they'll go to those conferences because really it's just one big party. They put on a great party. A lot of their sessions don't really have or offer, maybe I should say, some of these other conferences are there just to have one big huge party and some really exotic, really nice places, They tend to be beachfront properties that they go to, but they don't really offer solutions. They tend to self-promote. To be honest with you, they tend to self-promote. SMRP is different, where the exhibitors and the speakers are there to actually offer solutions. They're more than willing to sit, chat, talk to you, and most important, listen to you. Listen to what your needs are. They don't want to sell you a bag of rocks. They actually want to help you become partners in the solutions that you're facing. So that's a big one in my book. That's a very big one. So, matter of fact, this afternoon I have two sessions that I'm speaking back to back, and one is about how to set up what is the appropriate inventory levels, and the one followed behind that is what is the true cost of maintenance. Looking forward to those.
Yeah, and maybe in a couple of weeks or so, or when kind of other travel and other plans are out of the way, we can circle back and do a kind of post-event type recording. And Andy Gager, I want to thank you for being here with me on Friends of Nano, SMRP 2025. It's SMRP number 33. That's 33 years. Fort Worth, Texas. Andy, where can people connect with you? Where can they find you and get help and training from AMG International?
That's it. AMG. You can look us up on the internet, AMG International Consulting, or our websites, AMGINTLCO.com.
Nice. And they can find you on LinkedIn. Brother,
and I am on LinkedIn. Hey, man, it's always a pleasure. Enjoy the rest. I like your setup here at the conference, man. And Greg, listen, man, it's always a great time hanging out with you and spending some time, brother. So we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.